It gives me great pleasure to introduce this year's Volunteer Service Awards recipients. Each year, the 4 Lenape District High Schools each select a volunteer service recipient. The students that receive this award demonstrate a commitment and dedication towards service and volunteerism, as well as leadership that truly inspires others to do the same in their communities. This award was implemented across the district in an effort to instill in our students civic responsibility and a willingness to service their communities throughout their lives. Finally, I would like to thank the students for their leadership and congratulate them on receiving this year's Volunteer Service Award. We are proud of your efforts.
Megan is a wonderful young lady. She does everything without asking in return. She has so much initiative. She always does everything with a smile on her face. She's honest, she's caring, just a wonderful role model for others.
I help out a lot in the community, especially with my work with Cozies for Chemo, which is a charity that I started when I was 12. And I also do work with Lenape National Honor Society and the Community Service Club.
She did something not many kids do. When she was 12 years old and her cousin had cancer, she wanted to keep her warm and she wanted to care for her, so she developed these blankets. And then she pursued it not only to help her cousin, but to help other people. So she got many organizations involved in making these blankets for cancer patients.
After my cousin Katie was diagnosed with ovarian cancer, I made her a blanket because I wanted to make her something that would make her feel better about something that wasn't so great. After she was done with her chemo treatments, she told me how much the blanket meant to her and how much it really helped her and comforted her during her treatments. So after that, I decided I wanted to make them for other people going through the same type of treatment as her.
She didn't do it because she wanted something back. She did it because she wanted to give.
We make blankets and then we give them to various chemo centers, and we also ship them out across the country and even across the world. It's grown tremendously. We're a registered nonprofit now. We have a board that we work throughout the year to find out how we can better do our job and give the gift of comfort. We do fundraisers like our 5K run, and we also have our MLK Day event, which gets people in the community involved, which is one of our big goals. We've actually donated over 6,000 blankets to chemo patients.
Well, Megan is a member of NHS and Community Service Club, so besides helping us run a couple of Cozies projects, she also helps at Holiday Village with older people, clean up raking leaves. She's a wonderful asset at our elementary schools, helping run games at nighttime events. She even did Read Across America. She loves children. She was a very big inspiration at the Mount Laurel schools with them.
People who aren't going through a great time in their life really need help and support from the community. And if you're lucky enough to have the things that you have, you can kind of give back to people who maybe don't have those things or aren't as lucky as you are.
Gianna is one of the most giving students I've ever encountered. She loves to volunteer, she likes to make a difference in people's lives.
I want them to feel like they're just as lucky as everyone else, no matter what their circumstances, whether it's health, whether it's lack of shelter. And if I'm able to, I should be helping those who are less fortunate than I am.
I've known Gianna for about 2.5 years, so in that time, what I've seen is a girl who was a little hesitant, who didn't know what she wanted to do, start to find her passion, and Make-A-Wish is one of the passions that she's developed.
We went to the Give Kids World Village and I found my passion for helping these kids who have potentially life-threatening illnesses that is just mind-boggling, and to imagine what their families are going through and to be able to help them and give them a week away from hospital visits, doctor offices, and just relax and have no boundaries. It's amazing.
She felt so moved by what she did there that she actually took her mother back for another trip. So she's been there 3 times in the past 2 years. that's just one thing that she does as a volunteer.
I'm also involved in my church youth group, and we do a bunch of stuff. That's how I got involved in Habitat for Humanity, as well as the Trenton Soup Kitchen, which I go to once a year at before Christmas and serve breakfast to those families. And then Special Olympics, that was amazing. Definitely something I'll do forever. Make-A-Wish, I love Make-A-Wish, how I got involved in Give Kids the World. I also help out with the field hockey programs at the rec leagues.
She's a true volunteer. She works really hard. If there's a job assigned, she goes out and does it with 100% of her effort.
It's just something that I love doing. If I could do it every day, I would do it every day.
Avi is very reliable. He has strong leadership qualities. Very social. He's good at socializing and using that strength to get other kids active in community service.
He's a hard worker. He is just a fun young man who just gets along and understands people. He has a great personality. He's a good listener and just a very motivated young man.
He's very accountable. He's very punctual. He's responsible. He takes initiative, and he always puts his best effort forward. He never looks for a shortcut, and he'll do whatever needs to be done.
He takes on challenges. You can see the gears turning and how he develops his adjustments to life.
He exemplifies the spirit of a young scholar in the extracurricular sense. You know, not just getting all his work done and getting good grades, but also being an important member of the community, taking an active role in community, civic duty, philanthropy. These are things that matter to Avi.
The first time I volunteered was at Safe Trick or Treat for Renaissance Club with Mr. Lampu at Cherokee, and I fell in love with what I was doing, so I enrolled myself more into community service, and I fell in love even more, and I kept going.
The sheer volume of what Avi did, community service-wise, is pretty impressive, especially when you consider his level of activities and the level of courses that he takes.
I'm in Renaissance Club. I'm also in NHS. I'm also the president of Community Service Club at Cherokee. So we are basically provided with opportunities of this volunteering, and if you're able to go, you usually go. And they're usually on Saturdays or Sundays, so I'm able to attend them.
Here in Marlton, we clean up Main Street twice a year. We might do food drives. We have a park cleanup coming. A lot of it is very kind of unglamorous physical activity, where he has to get his hands dirty and stuff like that. He helps with the special needs students here at Cherokee. So it's not just physical work, it's also kind of community outreach.
We usually go to like middle schools or elementary schools and assist with them, with the teachers there, with their events they hold, such as PTA. Some of the community service activities I do is volunteer at Kumon. Kumon is a center for little children who need help with math and reading.
He gives back to the kids of Kumon Institute because he said he went there and he got help with himself with English and math, and now he's giving back to the kids that he feels is a good thing to do.
It's something he spent a lot of his free time on, and at this point it's probably somewhat habitual for him. It became ingrained in who he is and how he spends his time. And since he values it so much, I imagine it's going to be something he continues with after high school.
The one thing that you would say about Cole is that he is the most kind-hearted person that you would ever meet. Always has a nice word for everyone, always upbeat, always happy, and I know that goes in every aspect of his life. Cole's involved in the fire department, one of our fire departments in the district, and he has been doing it for quite a long time, and recently when he turned 18 he was able to be a full-fledged emergency response individual, and I know that how proud he was of that.
I'm involved in 2 different fire departments. I spend at least over a year, 300 and something hours plus in the fire departments. I'm always in the community, cleaning up and helping out. I've been a volunteer at the Southampton Township Fire Department for 4 years now. I also am a volunteer in Willingboro Township Fire Department. I also help out the New Jersey Air and Army National Guard Youth Camp. I'm a counselor. I get a group of 7 kids for a week, and it's for the kids of their parents, grandparents are in the military and who are deployed. and we just spend a good time with them in the community and clean up projects on the beach, all kinds of different things.
He brings to us his stories of his calls and the things that he's done, and always kind of stresses to his fellow students the importance of being safe and making safe decisions. So it's a little bit more than just being emergency responder. He's kind of the community watch person as well.
Community service is a big part of my life. I'm definitely going to continue it through college. I know there's a lot of different programs at college, and especially when I'm older and have my own family, teach my own kids community service.
Cole will definitely be involved in the fire department for his life. He's definitely a lifer when it comes to that. It's something that he enjoys. He's perfectly suited for it in temperament. Even in college, I know that he'll pursue something that will bring him back to that field in the future.
I think it's important to give back to the community for what they've done for me, and I always love putting smiles on people's faces and getting things done.